now.
This is getting better and better.
Get some recipes.
Look at that.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe you've done this.
Welcome to the Evolve Podcast, a podcast that explores personal evolution through our choices and overcoming life's challenges. The Evolve community is your ultimate destination for personal growth and evolution.
True to form, I get to continue to be the dumbest person in the room. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Did you ever get a quantum physical explanation for how to bake a meatloaf from a porn star? Bake a meatloaf from a porn star?
And you're listening to another Evolve Short. Today's topic is vaccines. Casey, have you had the vaccine? Have you been fully vaccinated? I'm not talking about the vaccine that you have to get every year when you take your dog in to get the shots, but have you gotten the most recent vaccines that have come out?
See, I checked my vaccine record, and I'm good with chicken pox. I'm good with polio, and I'm good with what was the one you just said? The dog one?
Rabies?
Rabies?
I don't know. What do you take your dog and get vaccinated for? Get your annual shots.
You know, there's in Vegas that you'd be surprised where you can go get those shots. It's amazing.
I'd imagine wherever you sit in Vegas, you have to have those shots to make sure that you're not dying from it.
It depends, and it depends on what month of the year it is. I've been walking the line of I don't think I'm going to get the COVID-19 vaccine, but I keep researching and reading about. Well, the only two I've researched is Madeira and what's the other one, Miles? I was telling you about?
Pfizer.
You got the Pfizer and Moderna. Yeah,
Moderna, not Madeira. Moderna. Yep. And
Madeira was that band you used to listen to back in the 80s. It's like Menudo, Madeira. Yeah,
Madonna, whatever.
Menudo.
But I'm not a big, just on the global scale, I'm not a big vaccine person per se. It's not a political thing. It's not a religious thing. It's just more of, I kind of want to know what's going in my body, what the long term is. Is there a organic way to accomplish the same thing? So I'm studying that path also. Okay. So it's interesting in my family. My wife has had both shots for whatever. I don't know if she did Moderna or what one she did, but and then so her and I are split on that, obviously, and it's not a argument or a debate. It's a personal choice. So it's just interesting.
I think that's the interesting thing about this topic, though, is it's always a personal choice what you do with your body.
Right.
Whether you choose to do a vaccine, how you live, it's always a personal choice. But it's really interesting what's been happening in our society where you're almost being forced, not told that you have to. But from my perspective, there's a lot of social pressure.
I saw a thing April 2nd. It said you have to have a vaccine, get out of jail free card to go to New York or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of what they call virtue signaling going on, and people saying, well, if you don't get it, then you're a bad person. And I am a big believer that whatever your choice is, it's your personal choice. It's your body. Yeah. Now, Miles, I know you got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, right?
Yeah, I got the Johnson & Johnson.
And what was the experience like for you? Let's talk about experience first, and then maybe why you chose to get the vaccine done.
Well, I was skeptical at first. I was only my skepticism derived from how quick it had come out.
Yeah,
right.
And then that skepticism started to give way to it's fucking genius. You know what's interesting about people that scream about "Make America Great Again," when America becomes great, like doing something like that, people are like, hey, that might have been too great.
It was too fast. Be great, but
That's
not
too
that fast.
But I was skeptical, and the joke, the humorous part for me was, I said, okay, I'll let everybody else take it, and then if anybody drops dead, I'll know better.
Yeah, there you go.
But I was really
your experience really wasn't that bad, right?
No, my experience wasn't bad at all. It was a pretty pleasant experience, given my experimental drug history. Yeah, because it was I got the shot at 1:00, CVS. I went right around the corner. There was one other woman who was already. They make you wait 20 minutes after to see if there's any effects. She was already waiting. She had gotten her shot. I asked her about it. She said pretty harmless. And then I went in. They gave me the shot. During the course of the day, I didn't feel anything. And then about 12:00 at night, I was sitting down, and then I stood up, and I felt this kind of extra movement when I stood up. And it felt like, as I always described to you guys, it felt like I was having an out-of-body experience, but my body didn't want to wander too far away from my body. So I was really close to me.
So your body was out of body, but it was still cuddling with you.
It was still cuddling with me. Right. That's actually
right.
perfect.
Right.
I was cuddling with myself. I felt like I didn't
Were you
have a
big
fever.
spoon, or was your out-of-body big spoon when you were doing the spooning?
I was big spoon.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, I was big spoon. Cuddle me, baby.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because you're the only person I've talked to that has said that this experience of getting the vaccine created this out-of-body feeling, and it was more of like a drug experience.
Yeah. Well, listen, so if you think about it this way, there's been so much made about it, and it's so foreign to us to all of a sudden to be living in the age where virus comes down the pike and we go into overdrive and create the vaccine. The skepticism and the fear, and as we know, if you just look at fear, period, fear clouds the way you can experience something.
Sure. Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of fear going in. I have some anti-vaxxer friends that would send me the most ridiculous stuff at times. And what it made me do was okay, go do the research. Just go do the research. And once I did the research, I felt pretty comfortable. I get a flu shot, and I don't know what the hell they put in my body with the flu shot. I should probably do some research on that. But once I did all the research, I said, okay, let's do this. The other thing that I looked at is you look at the people around you, and you start to try to realize how many tentacles into society are situated around you. So Tiago goes to gymnastics. In the wintertime, he would go to ski club. So, he was around a lot of people. Alicia's boyfriend, he's a manager of restaurants. So I thought, you know what? We're living pretty safe, but to be on the safe side, let's do it. I did the research. If I drop dead, tell everybody I love them. And,
But you're still here a couple of weeks later.
Here it is. And supposedly it takes 14 days for it to reach maximum efficacy.
Yeah, right.
So, I went out last night and I was sitting next to this woman, and we were just talking. She was telling me about her new profession, and I just looked at her and said, hey, you want to give me a kiss because I'm vaccinated?
That's the new pickup line.
That's the new, I'm vaccinated. Kiss me.
They give you a really cool laminated card to.
Yeah,
I know they do. They give you a card. I do have a card.
We should. That's our next T-shirt that we're going to make is "Kiss Me, I'm Vaccinated."
That would be pretty fun.
Now, I did the Moderna and
step inside my 6-foot bubble.
Step inside my 6-foot bubble.
That sounds like Casey Mitchell's new single.
Yeah, I like that.
Step inside.
I think you need to make a country version and a rap version of that.
I know, and an R&B. So we need a rap version,
country,
you go. And R&B,
and a little R&B with Miles on the piano.
Yeah,
so I did the Moderna, And like Casey, I'm one where I'm extremely skeptical. I'm also very concerned about, long-term issues and not knowing what the long-term ramifications are. But I'm also a guy that, I work in a medical spa and I work around people on a regular basis. And frankly, I didn't have COVID. I didn't want to get it. I've seen varying degrees of severity with people that I know. And with my history with asthma, I just frankly didn't want to get it. And so I thought, well, if this is a way for me to boost up my immune system, like Miles, I did a lot of research. I talked to a lot of people that I know and trust that have also done research. And so, I weighed the pros and cons and decided that was the way to go for me. And I don't have an opinion whether people should do it or shouldn't do it. I think, again, it's your personal choice. Yeah. The first shot that I got, it felt a day later like somebody had kind of punched you in the shoulder, and it was a little bit sore.
That's kind of like a tetanus shot feel. That's how I've had a tetanus shot. It's
right.
Sore shoulder and that was, the next day.
Yeah, it was hard to. I wasn't very smart. I got it in my left shoulder, and I tend to sleep on my left side, and so I had a hard time sleeping that night. Yeah. But just because of the shoulder being sore. The second shot that I got, it was the best way I can describe it is it's like being sick without being sick. So I felt fine until about 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden my body starts going into these hot and cold, and I'm feeling a fever. And it was a weird experience. I don't know that it was like what you're talking about, Miles, where it's an out-of-body experience, but it was like my body kept saying, hey, we're sick, but we're not sick. We know we're not sick, but we're going through this process. So it was.
See, that's an out-of-body experience.
Yeah,
that's out-of-body experience because your body's talking to you.
Yeah. And there was one point where I was bundled up with blankets. I had a coat on. I mean, it was... The fever, the hot and cold was really getting to me that night. And then, it was gone and no issues. And I'm about a month and a half out from that, I think, or maybe 2 months out from when I got my second shot, and I feel fine. So,
and the research that I had done real fast before we wrap it up, the research that I had done, what you just described wasn't actually the vaccine. It was your body's immune system creating the situation so you can have immunity.
Correct. Yeah. It's
so that was your body. Yeah, it's a response
to the spike protein. Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing, and as I keep studying it, and the more I read, the less, I guess, less of my barriers I have about it. It's funny, Miles, you mentioned about getting the flu shot. You don't know what you put in your body there. I did the flu shot once in my life several years ago. I didn't know what was going into me. All I know is I got sick as a freaking dog. And then the next year I got pneumonia, about killed me. And the following year, about almost 12 months apart, I got bronchitis. That almost killed me. And so here I sit thinking, God, last time I shot something in my arm, the repercussions of that was pneumonia and bronchitis. So I don't know. It's just, and none of that really connects any dots. It's just kind of how you think sometimes. So.
Yeah, and it's got to be everybody's personal decision. Yeah,
we should actually. Well, anyway, we'll wrap it up and then I'll.
Well, there you have it, folks. How about you? Did you get the vaccine? Are you getting the vaccine? How was your experience if you did? We don't have an opinion to tell you yes or no. I think we believe that whatever your choice is, it's your choice. So we have another Evolve short in the books. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at evolve_cast. Join the Evolve community by going to evolve-cast.com to pick up our clothing line. Life is short. Now it's time for you to get out there and evolve.